Hi folks, this is Jeremy again with ExcellenceInEldercare.com, and today I just want to discuss with you what is elder care, the basics of elder care. The problem is that many adult children of our aging population don't really seek out to understand elder care because they think that their loved one has to be the victim of some horribly debilitating disease, and they have to be very close to death, or at least completely reliant on someone else to provide all of their care before they need to understand what elder care is, because they think that their loved one can't get those services that they need until they're at that point. But that just isn't true. Their loved ones can get care whether they need a little bit of help, whether they're just at the beginning of a decline, or whether they need a great deal of help. There's a whole broad spectrum of care out there within elder care, and that's what I want to explain and make clear. Now, within elder care, there's a continuum that defines the type of care that's given. On one end of the spectrum, if you will, is the person that has an acute condition, and by an acute condition I mean something that happened, something that caused a sudden change in their life. And this type of care generally focuses on getting better quickly and then returning back to where they were. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is for those with chronic conditions. And by chronic conditions, we mean those conditions that they don't have a cure. They're a slow, gradual onset. Things change slowly over time, and they progressively get worse. And that's more for long-term care. Years, it could take years, all the way up until someone passes away. So, from the point of a chronic condition, which has no cure, and it slowly progresses, and it could take years and years and years to manage and to live with. From that point, all the way on the other end of the spectrum, you have the sudden change. Something happened, but most likely we can fix it. Now, there's a whole broad spectrum there of things that could happen, diseases, conditions, situations that could happen within someone's life that they could require elder care. And understanding that will help you understand that now is the time to seek out elder care solutions. Now is the time to understand it. Because when you think your loved one may not need it, they could really use a service. You could really use a skill to be able to help them. You could really be able to use the knowledge to be able to help them. Now, one classic example of an acute situation is the senior who falls down at home and they break their hip. Now, it's acute because it suddenly happened. Immediately after the fall, they have surgery to fix their hip. And after that, they're going to need some kind of therapy, some kind of physical therapy to strengthen so that they don't have another fall later on. Now, it seems like this may take a long time, but the course of treatment for an incident like this is generally 6 to 12 weeks, which really in the grand scheme of time is a very, very, very short amount of time. Now, the chronic condition, on the other hand, is the one that slows that steady yet gradual deterioration in the senior's ability to care for themselves. And the classic example that I think of when we talk about chronic conditions is Alzheimer's disease. Currently there's no cure for it. There's no treatment that's been shown to be effective or to reverse the symptoms. But this condition can progress for 5, 7, 10 years. So this is the condition these are the types of conditions that a lot of people think about that their parent has to experience when they go in, or before they even seek out elder care solutions, before they seek out to understand it. Now let's go over the focus of care. The focus of care is quite different depending upon the nature of the problems. For instance, the goal of care for the acute condition, let's take the example, the fractured hip, is to fix the problem and get the senior to what is known as their prior level of functioning. In other words, that just means that they are effectively able to do for themselves what they were able to do before the incident happened, before they fractured their hip. So if Mom could walk 100 feet and not be winded and not feel dizzy and not fall down. Well, once she gets back to that level after therapy, she has reached her prior level of functioning. Now, the goal of care for the chronic condition is not that of cure and reversal, because these diseases don't have a cure. The focus is only on managing their symptoms and lessening the chance that that condition causes other conditions to happen. Now, what do you do next? The first place to start is to understand that if you're caring for an aging loved one, chances are that they fit within that spectrum of elder care, that they could probably utilize those services within elder care very well, and it could be either used to fix problems that they already have or be used to manage the symptoms of their chronic conditions. Now, for more information, you can sign up for our email list, which when you're on the website is on the right-hand sidebar. And there we send out regular updates on elder care and different opportunities that we have for education. So for now, this is Jeremy with Excellence in Elder Care, and I am just wishing you and your best, the very best in your elder care journey.